2020, when the pandemic hit, I started noticing I was getting real sick in terms of like my joints were bothering me. So like my knuckles, my wrists, my elbows, and these are not typical places that people complain about. So I called my primary care doctor and I told her, and the first thing she said was, "This sounds like autoimmune." I don't have no education about autoimmune because I am a healthy 28-year-old female. So I'm like, what is that? She said, well, I don't want to jump to conclusions because autoimmune is just a classification with multiple diagnoses that fall under it. So come in and let's do some blood work. We did a host of blood work. And I'll never forget, I was driving and she called me and just like my heart stopped. And she said, you have autoimmune and I'm leaning towards lupus. I said, there's no way. I don't even know what lupus is. I've heard of it. A friend of mine's died a few years ago. Rest in peace, Shantae. But I still, when she passed away, I still didn't know what it was. So I'm like, wait, this is not true. I'm Googling, and Google is the devil. Google was showing me all of the gruesome pictures of lupus. So I went to a rheumatologist, and she told me, I don't think you have lupus. You don't have have any of the 11 symptoms. So let's just do another panel, and we'll rule it out. Of course, July 30th, 2020, I was officially diagnosed with lupus SLE.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Beauty and You podcast. Our guest today is an inspiring force in social work and research. Based in Brooklyn, New York, she's currently pursuing her PhD in social welfare with a groundbreaking dissertation centered on Black women living with lupus. She's been recognized for leadership and commitment to justice-driven research that empowers underserved communities and addresses health disparities. I'm honored to welcome her to the Beauty and You podcast, Chanette. Welcome to the Beauty and You podcast. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So your story is inspiring. I remember when we had our pre-interview, I did get a little emotional. I want you to educate our guests today about a disease they may not know about, or they may know about or know little information. So I want you to talk about your experience with lupus. And tell me what that has been like for you.
So I was born healthy, 2020. When the pandemic hit, I started noticing I was getting real sick in terms of like my joints were bothering me. So like my knuckles, my wrists, my elbows, and these are not typical places that people complain about. So I called my primary care doctor and I told her, and the first thing she said was, this sounds like autoimmune. I don't have no education about autoimmune because I am a healthy 28-year-old female. So I'm like, what is that? She said, well, I don't want to jump to conclusions because autoimmune is just a classification with multiple diagnoses that fall under it. So come in and let's do some blood work. We did a host of blood work, and I'll never forget, I was driving and she called me and just like my heart stopped. And she said, you have autoimmune and I'm leaning towards lupus. I said, there's no way. I don't even know what lupus is. I've heard of it. A friend of mine's died a few years ago. Rest in peace, Shantae. But I still, when she passed away, I still didn't know what it was. So I'm like, wait, this is not true. I'm Googling, and Google is the devil. Google was showing me all of the gruesome pictures of lupus. So I went to a rheumatologist, and she told me, I don't think you have lupus. You don't have have any of the 11 symptoms. So let's just do another panel, and we'll rule it out. Of course, July 30th, 2020, I was officially diagnosed with lupus SLE. Lupus has 3 different tiers. There's lupus SLE, there's lupus DLE, and there's lupus nephritis. Lupus nephritis is common. Nick Cannon has lupus nephritis, where it specifically targets the kidney. Lupus DLE attacks the skin and the hair. Then there's lupus SLE, in which I have. It can attack any organ in my body. God willing, so far, I haven't experienced any organ failure because I caught my lupus at the height of my diagnosis, which is so important, that I'm using this platform to spread the word. Most people get diagnosed with lupus mostly after the organ damage has stopped. So just to give the audience an idea of how lupus looks, think of it as a tornado, right? We turn on the news and they say we're going to have a tornado. We don't know how bad this tornado is expected to be, but we prepare, right? Lupus is a big tornado that's swirling in your body from your head to your toe. Essentially, within that tornado, it targets a specific organ that it starts to damage, right? We don't know how much damage is done during these lupus flares until after. So, for those that say you don't look like you're sick, lupus is not a physical. It's not physical. So, and most of it is internal. So, your doctor does blood work, and then that tells your doctor how bad that lupus flare was. It is luckily for me, my lupus is managed because I know I know the onset of my flares. I start to get tired. That's me telling my body that I need to rest. But I think it's important to learn how to identify these things early on because not even most primary care doctors know how to detect the lupus diagnosis on the early onset.
Absolutely. I remember when my best friend, rest in peace, Mitri, but when she had lupus, and one of the things that she struggled with was how many people she was losing, such as friends. She had a lot of friends that said, you don't look like you have lupus, or you're lying, or I feel like you're being very, very dramatic right now because you look fine. Have you experienced a situation like that?
All the time. When I first got diagnosed, it was hard sharing this information with my friends because it's not just me sharing information, it's me educating as well. But those are the smallest parts. Someone that understand, that's long term, right? So I would have my friends, you slept all day. Come on, it's a cookout tonight. Let's go. But in my mind, I want to go. So 3 o'clock, okay, it started at 9 o'clock. I'll be ready. I'll take a nap. At 6 o'clock, I have a boost of energy, and by 7:30, I start crashing again, right? So it's almost like, oh, you making excuses not to hang out, but I see you hanging out with other people. No, is I don't really know how to explain it. For me, I thank God that I have a great partner that he knows, like, it's times that we have gotten dressed to go to dinner, to go to the movies, and it's like, I'm tired. I fall asleep in the movie theaters. I fell asleep in the middle of parties. It's something that I cannot control. Um, I'm very upfront and honest during my friendship. Like, this is who I am. I can't help it. And the biggest thing you can do for me as a friend is say you understand and fulfill that. That's important to me.
Yep. And knowing them in and out, being there. I just remember being there with her, always answering her phone and just talk me through what's going on. And being, and when she's upset, no one's listening to me, or even the doctors aren't listening to me. And I just don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm just here to listen. I don't have to say anything right now. I'm just here for you. And so I just remember that being such a hard thing for her. She's like, I just want people to understand. And I'm like, look, the right ones do understand. And so it's important that you have the one or two people that you can connect with that do understand exactly what you're going through. In terms of self-care, someone that may be struggling with lupus, how would you tell them to maybe manage self-care? You get tired all the time, et cetera, et cetera. But what are some ways that you can tell them to maybe manage self-care, and what are some things that you may do?
So one of the things that lupus will teach you is your body. You say you know your body. You don't know your body when you're healthy. You know your body when you're sick. So you start to prioritize, okay, not getting sleep is a no-no, right? That may mean making some sacrifices, being selfish to your partner, your family, even your children, right? So for me, nap time is my self-care. That is my recharge. That is my medication. That is going to make me a happy camper. If that mean we're in the middle of this podcast. If I needed to take a nap, I'm going to take a nap because it's important to me.
Do.
It is very important to me. So I put me first all the time. All the time is me first.
Absolutely. So, in our African American community, explain what lupus mean about educating lupus in our community and what that means to you.
So, like I said earlier, when I was diagnosed, there was no history of lupus in my family, autoimmune, that we knew of. I find that most people don't know the onset of the lupus signals. To get a proper diagnosis, people are misdiagnosed. I think it's important to educate and start these screening panels early. In terms of me, I found out in 2020, my cousin, who's my first generation cousin, he's in his 50s. He just got diagnosed with lupus. And then my identical twin sister just got diagnosed about a month ago.
Okay.
So, but one of the things that helped her with this diagnosis was my symptoms. So over the years, I'm tired. I'm noticing I have no energy, muscle aches for no reason. She was like, wait, these are all of the symptoms you reported. And it can easily get confused with maybe I'm just tired or burnout. So recognizing this, your primary care doctor is so important. You need a doctor that's going to listen to you. One of the things that my doctor reported when I said to me when I reported these symptoms was, this is not like you. You're usually my easy come and go patient, right? And that stood out to me. Like all of these patients you see, you remember our unique conversations. That's important for report building. So recognizing that if that doctor is not taking the time to notice the little things about you, I would strongly recommend looking for another primary care physician.
I would say, especially in our community, because we don't like to go to the doctor. Or if we are tired, it's, well, we're taught to deal with it. Like, you all right? You'll be fine. And so really paying attention, like you said, pay attention to your body, communicate with your primary care. If that doctor's not working for you, switch. Ask the questions. I remember Mitri and her mom, like, no, we don't like what you're saying. We're going to find another doctor. No, we don't like what you're saying. We're going to find another doctor. No, this can't be true. You're fine. You're fine. Well, we're not saying anything, but she's feeling like X, Y, and Z. And so I think really being an advocate for ourselves, we have to practice that within our community. We ain't supposed to be tired all the time, y'all. Like, we could be tired every now and then, but understand our body and what we do. And really advocate for ourselves, especially in our community. So I think it's great that you're doing that.
And I also want to point out for the state of New York, I know that even if you have Medicaid, a commercial plan, you are entitled to a second opinion. So you are not stuck. Most people feel like, oh, I already have a doctor. I don't know if my insurance is going to change. You can change your doctor. The likely is most plans, as long as you can't see one primary care physician in a month of May and then 2 weeks later go see someone else. It just has to be at a different month, and that's just for billing purposes. But knowing that, you know what, I don't care if I go to 15 doctors. I need to settle on someone that I feel is comfortable with the information that they're giving to me.
Absolutely. So I was scrolling on your Instagram. I was looking at your personality. You're vibrant. You're always having a good time. You're always dancing. You're always putting on a show, which is amazing. It is amazing that you show up. You have some little people that you take care of as well. Talk to me about how they are a motivation for you and maybe, what keeps you going.
My oldest son is 18. He will be graduating from high school next month.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got one through.
Thank you. My son grew up with me. I had him when I was 16. And, I'm still a big advocate for teen moms. It's not the end of the world, but, soon as I got pregnant, I was head on faced with a big stigma that I would be on public assistance, that I wouldn't go far in life. So I want to show him that it is okay to stumble. I don't want to say make a mistake, because my son is not a mistake. Absolutely. It is okay to make a stumble, get up, and then just keep going forward. My baby is little Juju. That is my heart. He's such a character. I'm teaching him the same thing. I did have him when I was a little more established and I was an adult, but I'm teaching both of my boys that if I don't care how many people tell you no, you set the path. No means new opportunity. So you go around people that's negative and then you keep pushing forward.
I love that. And I can relate to that. I had my son young as well. And as soon as I got pregnant, it was, you're another statistic. You're not going to graduate college. You're not all the things you could think of. And it's people that were the closest to me at that time. And so everything I do from this point, since then, has been to create a path for them and to show them their voices, especially I have a son, he's 17. And so as a Black man, to give him his voice and show that he can do that. And then my daughter, character as well. So to set that path. And so I love watching, it made me smile because I'm like, I love that, she has something that she's going through, but it's not defining you. And you're also using your voice in ways to educate, which is beautiful. And we need to do that more, especially within our community. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you.
This podcast episode is brought to you by FemForce, the ultimate solution for entrepreneurs craving consistent professional content without the hassle. Say goodbye to content creation overwhelm and hello to streamlined process that delivers 50 to 60 stunning photos and short video clips in just 1 hour. With shoots held at Instagram-worthy locations across cities like Austin, Atlanta, Dallas, DC, Denver, Houston, Miami, Nashville, Phoenix, and Tampa, FemForce ensures you have fresh visuals to elevate your brand every month. Whether you're launching a new product, updating your website, or keeping your social media vibrant, FemForce Shoots has got you covered. Don't miss this game-changing opportunity to elevate your brand and finally get the content you deserve. I've got an exclusive code just for my listeners to get you started today. So you can stop waiting and start showing up like the boss you are. Click the link below and let FemForce Shoots bring your brand to life. What advice would you give to, we're going to talk about teen moms for a second, and then we'll go back to Lupus. But what advice would you give to that teen mom who is just like, I can't do this, the world is against me? What advice would you give to them?
You show up for yourself, right? So you can be all in one. You could be a cheerleader. You could be your own advocate. Besides yourself, you can be your own enemy, right? So I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I would say this to people, but use not this finger, the other finger, and keep pushing. I mean, I've had so many roadblocks, right? And I strategize because I learned how to carry multiple hats for myself. People carry multiple hats as it aligns for other individuals. No, sometimes you got to carry multiple hats for yourself.
Absolutely. And okay, we're going to give them the middle finger, but not that finger. I understand that. I think that it's important that you utilize your challenges in ways to make you stronger. I always tell my kids that everything that we go through, we are a product of our experiences, but we're going to learn a lesson from that. And I have them do some self-reflection as well. Like, what did you just go through? How did that make you feel? What did you learn from that? And what is your next step? Because I'm not going to always be there. So I need you to learn these steps so that way you can navigate the world out there, because it's not going to always be pretty, especially for us. And so teaching him and my daughter those skills early on is like, okay, it's not a failure. It was a challenge. This is what we learned from it, and this is what we're going to do. So what are you going to do? So I think that is very, very important. I, low-key, even though I was hurt back then, I'm low-key happy for the hate, right? Like you're not going to amount to anything,
Right.
because, boy, I love it now. They're like,
Yeah.
can you do? No, I can't do nothing for, remember, I was the one that was going to drop out, right? So I don't really know how to help you. And so you have carried that in everything that you do. And so
Thank
I do
you.
appreciate that. So this podcast is called The Beauty in You. So how do you define the beauty in you?
It's so much about myself that I could appreciate. I appreciate the growth and how I respond to life challenges. I had a rough life growing up because I'm a crybaby.
Why would you say you're a crybaby?
Everything hurts me. I believe you're supposed to be kind to people, and it comes back in return. But there's so many people I was so kind to. Even just reflecting back on it, I've lost friends that didn't. I set that expectation that everybody in the world is Chanette, and they're not. They turned out to be I had some really ugly experiences. So I would say definitely the beauty in me is that I have resilience. I could bounce back from anything that I am going through. I always strategize. I'm always going to find a way. And I'm always going to continue to love those that love me.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I will say not everybody deserves your kindness all the
I'm
time.
going to
You
agree.
know, like I know we want to be like, oh yeah, let's be nice, but not everyone may deserve that.
You're
And
right.
so,
I'm still learning that. And again, I thank God for my family. I thank God for my children. And I thank God for my partner, who was a big part in helping develop and shape me with learning how to, like, he don't baby me. So he like, no matter how much I cry, I'm like, damn, I'm crying. He don't care. It's not he
do
don't
you see
care.
this tear?
Yes, he do not care. But he has taught me, all right, what is crying going to do about the situation? Keep going. So I thank God for that. I thank God for the type of person that I am. I'm like, wow, look what God put in my life that I deserve, right? So that's also a part of the beauty in me, the people that I could produce in my circle.
Yes, because your circle is important.
Mm-hmm.
Your environment's important. Your circle is important. Who we surround ourselves with, who we have lifting us up each and every day is so important. I'm so big on environment. If you don't rock, you don't fit, you can't come in. I mean, you can look through the window maybe. I'm so, I'm so serious with it because I'm a strong believer. I never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Right?
I
Right.
need you to be a little bit smarter because I'm picking your brain. What you
Right.
doing? How did you
Right.
do that? How did you overcome that? What does that look like for you?
Right.
Because then that helps me, helps me grow. And so I never want to be the smartest person. And I think it's very important that you surround yourselves with the right people to get you to the next level to allow you to keep pushing. So, what you crying for? Now, I will tell you, you can cry a little bit. You can cry a little bit, but
Not
you
around my partner.
give yourself a limit. Like, can you get 5 minutes?
I gotta go in the bathroom,
Can
go
you
in the
cry for 5
shower.
minutes?
But when I come back to him, my face better be dry, and I better have a plan to keep moving.
To keep going. I give myself, if I'm upset about anything, I give myself like not crying for 2 days, but 2 days to get myself together. One day, reflect, the next day, all right, and then that's it.
Right?
So again, that has to go with knowing your body, knowing yourself, knowing how you interpret things, how you handle certain situations. So I think that self-reflection is very, very important. You're hilarious. Very, very hilarious. So you're working on your doctorate.
Yes.
And you do a lot within your community. Talk to me about how all this is important to you.
About my doctorate is funny because I never saw myself even going that high. My twin sister was like, I went to our graduation, and she's like, yeah, I'll start the doctorate program. I said, doctorate? What you mean doctorate? So she's like, yeah, I'm going for my doctorate. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. So, shout out to my twin sister, Monette. When she sets the path, she's 3 minutes older than me. So I said, you know what? Let me go for this. I got accepted in the program, and the rest was history. So my plan, I'm big on putting pen to paper and outlining things, and I got some big dreams that I will accomplish once I get that doctorate degree. I do take advantage as a PhD student because that holds title as well. I get a lot of respect. I just love you're a doctorate student? Yeah, I am. So it's just like, I don't know if there's a certain image because I'm big on my culture. You see, I love the 90s. I'm very big on the Afrocentric look. And I guess this is not your typical look for a doctorate student. So I just love branding myself that I am a PhD student. When my community, a few of me and my friends were trying to put together an organization just to get girls a little bit more active. Growing up, I used to do stepping. I love stepping. Stepping is more than just making noise and your neighbors complaining. Right. It is a technique. I still remember my steps from 20 years ago, right? It is a technique you will never forget. It holds value. And it's about attitude, right? If you don't have an attitude, you cannot be a stepper. I don't care. You have to have that attitude. And I just love that, right? Black women are associated with attitude problems. If I don't like something, I got an attitude. But if someone else don't like something, they just not satisfied. So I feel like that activity is just so connected to our culture. We are in the works of putting together a step team for young girls just to keep them active. I do partner up with my school. There's a program called Kid Cafe. We have October is domestic violence, which is also known as intimate partner violence month. We hold free self-defense courses where we teach them. We're not promoting violence, but sometimes that course of action is needed if they do not have access to the resources that we provide. So essentially, I will look at the self-defense component as a resource. We do that. There's usually MSW students on site. In the event that it gets a little overwhelming and they want to speak, we do coat drives. We do turkey drives. I do a lot of events with my job. I work for Child Welfare in New York City, the back-to-school events when we give out book bags and things like that. So, mind you, I never thought I would focus on macro social work because that's not really my thing, but it's actually in me without me even knowing that I'm doing it.
So why would you say it's not in you?
No, it is in me. I just didn't
Or
see.
didn't see you
Yeah, I
doing
didn't
that.
see myself doing it. Like, when I look at the terms, I'm like, but I'm doing it without even knowing I'm doing it. So, and I'm always hands-on, wanting to volunteer and do things. I don't know why. I still can't even explain to you why I like doing it, but I just like doing it.
It's your passion. You have stepped into your passion, and that's a good thing. And I want to take it back to the doctorate part real quick. I don't know what we're supposed to look like as doctors. I don't know what people think we're supposed to look like, but I love it too. It's great. So keep rocking that because I'm like, yes, matter of fact, I am. Nice to meet you, right? I don't know what they expect from us or maybe less than, I don't know. But continue to brand yourself as such, continue to push forward and continue to break those barriers. Because that's what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
what we're supposed to do. I don't know. I love the doubt. It makes me work harder.
Me too. And I want to just highlight real quick the doctorate program. I promise you, anyone can do it. It is you sitting in class, you're learning the details of whatever topic that is, and then you just show what you learn at the end of the course. Anyone can do that. I think almost anybody can defend a dissertation. But what you do after the doctorate degree is the most important thing to me. Some people just doctor for no reason. They just want it for they want it for the respect. Some people do it because they are awarded the opportunity to continue their education, but make it purposeful. Like, okay, you got your doctorate. Okay, now what? And, when you hit people with that question, a lot of times they stuck. Which I also had to find my purpose in going for the doctorate because it's ain't a cheap program. So I'm like, okay, this got to work for me. This got to work.
Yes, challenge yourself. Anyone that's listening, continue to challenge yourself and to push yourself to that next level. Yes, you're going to get your doctorate. Now what? Then what? How are you going to continue to impact your community if that's what you want to do? Bottom line is that we can do whatever we put our minds to.
Absolutely.
There is no limits. The only limiting belief is yourself, honestly. Right. And so if you believe that you can get out here and accomplish the world, you can do that.
Absolutely.
I'm heavy on that. I'm heavy on empowerment and really pushing ourselves to the next level. And so Yes, if you want to go get your doctorate, go get your doctorate. If you want to write a book, write a book. If you want to start a community program, start the community program. The only person that is holding you back is yourself. And so,
Remember what I told you about the advice to the teen moms of developing all those characteristics within yourself. And sometimes we are our biggest critic. And there's nobody in this world that could tell me I can't do something. There's nobody.
yep. Break the curses. I say we are currently breaking generational curses. There's so many things that I grew up with that I'm like, I'm not doing that with my kids. I'm not even going to expose them to that environment, and I'm going to talk to them about these things. And so just know that we are the change. So if there's anything that you're going through, or you're like my community or my family, you are able to break the change. You don't have to do it because your mom did it and the grandma did it and then your great great grandma did it. Like, you're able to really step out there and be the generation of change. And so I encourage anybody out there to be the change.
Yep, that's
Definitely
right.
Be the change. Be the change. You've been awesome today.
Thank you.
You've
You
been
too.
absolutely awesome. I want you to tell the audience where they can find you, where they can connect with you, and if they want to come volunteer with you, where can they do that at too?
So I'm on Instagram. My name is Thick Nappy Locks. That's THICKN. Wait, NAPPYLOCS. I am on LinkedIn, Chanette Bovell, CHANETTE. My last name is Bovell, BOVELL. I go to Yeshiva University, specifically Words Wallace School of Social Work, and I'm Brooklyn all day, baby.
All day, all day. Oh, wow. If you are listening anywhere that you can stream your podcast, make sure to hit that button and leave a review. And I'll make sure to link all your information in the show notes. All right,
Thank you
you
so
guys.
much.
Until next time.